Oi, oi, Savaloy. It's me, Sham. Sham no Sham. I'm recording here from Green Square in Komae, Tokyo. Green Square is an Eikaiwa cafe where you can learn English in a relaxing environment. We don't wear suits. We don't have these small rooms with 4 students to 1 teacher. And you have lots of chances and time to talk, a lot of opportunities to speak in our lessons. So why not come down to Green Square, book your Murio Taiken lesson today on our website, www.greensquare.jp. That's www.greensquare.jp. All right, today I wanted to talk about something, well, first of all, yes, I'm still wearing this because I just recorded the last podcast 5 minutes ago. But today I wanted to talk about something that relates to business. Like if you do business in another country, if you do business overseas with different cultures, then this will be very, very important to you. The topic I wanted to talk about today is cultural intelligence. Cultural intelligence. What is cultural intelligence? I don't know exactly, but I think it's basically about understanding that there are different cultures who do different things in different ways. So, and even within a country, there are different subcultures that have different aspects, different parts of their culture, different things that they do in different ways. It all sounds very confusing. I'll go through it with you. Power distance. So power distance is basically the distribution of power. So if there's a big power distance, it means that the workforce or people appreciate or they acknowledge that there is a difference in level between the boss and the employees, or the boss and the workers. They respect that difference and they acknowledge and respect that difference, basically. So places that have a big power distance, they often do not voice opinions which are opposed or different from their managers or from their bosses. They don't challenge their bosses. It's very, very hierarchical. Hierarchy. Is a very hierarchical, and so that's one type of culture, is power distance, having a big power distance. Now, having a small power distance is basically like having a kind of flat organization where everyone is kind of equal. There is a difference in power level and in the levels in a company, but everyone has equal right or equal responsibility or equal power to voice their opinions and give their suggestions, and everyone's opinion is valid and everyone's opinion is held in equal regard, I think. So having a small power distance, in my opinion, is better for innovation, to getting new ideas in companies and getting innovation. I think it's a very, very important thing to have. It's important to be able to tell someone above you that I disagree and I think this is what should happen and I think this is the reason why it should happen. And I think it's important to have that. And I think people disagree with me all the time here. You know, they just disagree. Hey, Sham, you shouldn't do that. What do you mean I shouldn't do that? You shouldn't put your hand in the bin. Why not? You shouldn't eat things from the floor. Why not? Why can't I eat things from the floor? You'll get sick. All right. people disagree with me all the time. So, and I think that is basically essential for innovation. Next, uncertainty avoidance. So uncertainty is not being certain, not being sure. I'm not sure. Like not being 100%. And uncertainty avoidance, to avoid uncertainty. So basically, uncertainty avoidance describes cultures that do not like things that they don't know or they don't understand. It's the amount or the degree to which a certain group of people or certain culture or subculture avoids things that they don't know. So some people do not like taking risks because they don't know what the outcome will be. And then there are some cultures that just like, yeah, just do it and see what happens. I think myself, I believe that as leaders, leaders in companies and leaders in countries, they should take some degree of risk, even if they do not know what the outcome would be. Calculated risks. There's no way you can know for sure what the outcome is going to be. There's no way you can know for sure, but you can take calculated risks and you can take leaps of faith. Take a leap of faith to decide that we are going to pursue this course. And I think it's very important to be able to do that. And basically not to have avoidance of uncertainty. I think we should venture, we should journey, we should travel into the unknown. It's all like exploring and stuff. Otherwise, we wouldn't have discovered a lot of what we've discovered. And I think it kind of connects to the fact that some people believe that this is a truth. Like hundreds of years ago, people knew the world, the earth was flat. People knew that. But then we found out that wasn't true. So there are a lot of things that are known. There's a lot of things that people think are impossible. But we should always try to challenge these beliefs and not avoid challenging these beliefs and not avoid uncertainty. So yeah, that's uncertainty avoidance. It's important to realize that there are people who avoid uncertainty and adjust accordingly. Next, there are members of a monochronic culture. Monochronic means you see time as fixed. And so people who are monochronic, they tend to do one task at a time. And monochronic is also, basically, this is a good example. I think Japanese people are monochronic. Basically, if you have a meeting which starts at 9 a.m., Japanese people will all be ready to start the meeting at 8:45, at 8:45. They will be ready to start the meeting. Now, in some cultures, and that I might be under this culture, I'm polychronic. And so I do many tasks at the same time. If a meeting is scheduled to start at 9 a.m., I'm there at 9:03 or 9:30. No, at 9:03, maybe just on time. And that's I think that's pretty important to acknowledge. It's important to acknowledge that not everyone has the same perceptions of time as you do. Maybe you are monochronic and you are always early and you do one task at a time and tick off that checklist. Maybe you're polychronic and you do multiple tasks at the same time, and maybe your version of on time is within 10 minutes, basically being 10 minutes late. Oh yeah, I'm not late, I'm on time. No, it starts at 9. 9:10 is the same as 9. You get it, right? Next, this is pretty difficult and I think very, very interesting. There's application first thinkers. Now, application first thinkers, how do I explain it? Let me check. What did I write down? Application first thinkers, I think I'm application first thinkers. They want the most important information. That's not fair to say. Most important is relative. They want the actionable information first. and then they care about how you arrived at that information, how you arrived at that conclusion afterwards. So they want the conclusion first, and then they want how you arrived at that conclusion. That's an application first thinker. And I think this applies to like America, the UK, maybe Australia. Now, other countries, and I think this applies to Japan and France, I believe. France especially, they are principle first thinkers. So if you're giving a presentation, they don't want the conclusion up front. They want methodology. They want to know, how did you come to this conclusion? What was your journey? Why did you choose this way? Why did you not choose this way? And then after all of those explanations, after all of this methodology, then they want to know what was the conclusion. I think I'm an application first thinker. I just want to know, what is the information? What is the conclusion? Okay, now how did you get to this conclusion? I want to know what the main takeaway is from this presentation, and I want to know how you came to this conclusion afterwards. I want the justifications, the evidence afterwards. I hope you understand what I mean. Next, we have specific thinking. Basically, an object or a way of thinking or a thing can be isolated from its environment and thought of just in terms of that thing. For example, English lessons can be thought of just in terms of English lessons. A problem can be analyzed by taking it out of its environment and just thinking about the thing itself. Whereas holistic thinking thinks of a problem in its natural environment and how it interacts with its environment. So maybe English lessons will be connected to who wants to take English lessons, what is the market for English lessons at the moment, why are people taking English lessons, is it business English, is it daily conversation English, what type of English lessons. It's not just English lessons. There's a whole ecosystem, a whole map, a matrix of this problem, basically. And that's holistic thinking and thinking about that whole problem. Then we come to trust. There's relationship-based trust, where people develop trust based on learning about each other, like our relationship. Hey, tell me about your family. Let's have dinner together. Let's have lunch together and develop our bond, our connection. That's our relationship-based trust. There are a lot of countries that have that kind of trust. I think Italy is one of them, maybe Spain, African countries. I think they develop trust based on relationships. I think China as well is like that. And then there is task-based trust, which is trust based on the tasks you accomplish and proving your efficiency, proving your efficacy, just proving that you are a competent and good worker. That's task-based trust. I think Japan, maybe Germany is like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. And I don't think all of Germany is like that. Of course, all of these rules are not just applied to the entire country. There are subcultures and everyone is different. I think I'm a mixture of relationship-based trust and task-based trust. I want to know about the people that I work with, but I also want to know about their competency in performing a task. Yeah. Finally, we're on the last four actually. There's low context communication. Basically, what I say is what I mean. You can get all the information that I'm trying to convey, all the information I'm trying to communicate to you is in my words. You do not have to interpret what I say. What I say is what I mean. What I mean is what I say. You don't have to read between the lines. And then there's high context communication. High context communication, you do have to read between the lines. You do have to look at how I say things, my facial expressions, maybe my body language, or even the things I don't say. are important. And I think Japan has a high context communication culture. Like a lot of what is not said is very important in Japan. People are not very upfront. I think this is basically referred to, forgive me if I'm wrong, tatemaen and honnin, I think. Finally, so confrontational cultures and non-confrontational cultures. So confrontational cultures, they get right to the point. They're very direct. They're very upfront about the things they want to say, the feedback that they're giving, or the things they say. And they'll use upgraders like very, extremely, considerably, terrifically, hijoni, that kind of thing. They're very direct about their feedback. Non-confrontational cultures, they give criticism or feedback with agreement or praise. They kind of balance those things. I'm kind of non-confrontational. I don't think confrontation is a good thing. I think sometimes direct criticism or feedback is necessary, but it should be tempered with praise, positive feedback as well. But it depends on the person that you're giving feedback to. You need to be able to understand if that person is confrontational or non-confrontational. And if they are confrontational, you should just be direct. But even with people who are confrontational, I think they like to know that their finer points, their good points, are being acknowledged as well. Non-confrontational cultures, they use a lot of downgraders as well, yeah? Like somewhat, or a little, or slightly, or they'll try and downgrade their criticism. It won't be as urgent or as direct or in your face. So those are a lot of different things in terms of different cultures, and just remember that one country does not have one culture in terms of how they work or how they make decisions. There is one more cultural thing I should mention. Decision making. There's decision with a capital D, where decisions are planned, like very, 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 very planned. They're planned meticulously, intricately. All the details are planned, and then that decision is final. And then there's decision with a lowercase d, a little d, where the decisions are made with very, very little planning, but it's very flexible. We can change the decision, we can upgrade the decision, we can downgrade the decision, we can change this decision in some way. It can be adapted, basically. So remember, all of these cultural elements do not apply to one country or one group of people. Everyone is different, but maybe you'll see these elements in the people you work with. So what do you think? What I want to know, are you monochronic or are you polychronic? Are you always on time, or are you sometimes flexible with your time? Do you value relationship-based trust or task-based trust? Do you need to have dinner with someone to establish a connection with them before you truly trust them, or do you trust them based on the tasks they carry out? Let me know in the comments below. My name's Sham, and this is Green Square. If you want to talk about cultural intelligence, if you want to talk about business or project management or sport, or if you want to talk about fashion, I have a wide range of interests, as do all the teachers here at Green Square. They have many, many interests in a lot of different topics. So why not come down, have a conversation in English about something that you want to talk about. No matter what your culture is, high power distance, low power distance, uncertainty avoidance, polychronic, monochronic, come on down. We can have a good conversation. My name's Sham, and this has been Sham Talk.